So I would like to ask the panel to imagine someone that you love deeply, like someone that means the world to you. Imagine who that person is to you. Now, imagine that that person goes into a local hospital with a broken bone, and they perform several medical errors on your loved one, causing them to stay there over a month and ultimately leading to their death. You're watching your loved one bleed out of their rectum all over the bed and floor, and you go to the nurse's station and you're crying for help. And they look at you and they say, "We're busy, sorry," and they scatter. I filmed it, I have photos of this. I grabbed towels, stacked them all over the bed, all over the floor, and watched my dad die. They entered the room an hour and a half later, but it was too late. In the state of Florida, there's a law that prevents me from holding the people responsible for his death accountable. It's cheaper to kill a patient in the state of Florida than to save their life and let them file a med-mal claim. ACA investigated this hospital. They were found guilty of breaking laws. My dad's body went missing, and Tallahassee had to get involved to find him, and it took me 2 months to bury him. I cannot hold anybody responsible because it falls under the Wrongful Death Act. My dad's death was listed as accidental, but in reality, he was murdered. Florida Statute 67821, subsection 8 is unconstitutional as it discriminates against an age group 25 and older, or if you're unmarried, you're not allowed to bring a claim. I'm in disbelief that this statute exists. I'm in disbelief that people are still voting to keep it in place. I know of one person on this panel that voted last session to keep it. I would urge you to change that. By voting to keep this law, you are essentially saying that big insurance companies, donations, and money are more important than human life. Facts. We are the only state with this law. Doctors and hospitals get paid to kill these patients. Let me repeat that. They get paid to kill these patients. With no accountability and no consequences, it will continue to happen. I'm almost done. Doctors that lose their license in other states can practice here and be protected. Insurance companies will argue this law keeps malpractice insurance down. If that's the case, why have rates risen across the board to the point that many doctors have opted out of carrying insurance completely? Also, how is it that every other state in the United States functions and is fine without this law? I will end this by saying my dad was a sergeant in the U.S. Army. He served in the Vietnam War. And I find it disgusting and horrific that this is how he was treated, because he suffered greatly. And I pray that none of you on this panel, Mr. Sabatini, I'd appreciate you to pay attention to me. That,
Please don't call any members specific.
well, I'm just saying he hasn't looked at me once, and it's very disrespectful. I pray that no one on this panel ever has to go through this. I'm a person too, you know. He's just